If you've ever been seized by that deep, bone-cold chill, a sharp, wordless instinct that clutches your chest and whispers that something is terribly wrong, don't brush aside. I did, and I paid the price. The last time I felt that gut-deep unease, it unraveled everything I thought I knew about my marriage. That one night pulled a thread that undid my entire world. Let me take you back to where it all began to come apart. Her name was Clara, and it all started with a quiet, desperate request I made from a place I couldn't quite name. Could you stay in tonight? I asked, trying to sound calm even as a storm churned inside me. Clara didn't even glance my way. She stood at the mirror, perfecting her lipstick, her reflection hard and indifferent. Then she let out that laugh, that mocking, dismissive scoff she'd mastered over time. "Seriously, Marcus," she said, exasperated. "You're doing this again?" Her tone was sharp, almost amused, like I was a child throwing a tantrum. She snatched up her purse, already halfway out the door before I could say more. The honk of her friend's car echoed from outside. Her perfume lingered behind, floral and too sweet, hanging in the air like a ghost. And just like that, she was gone. But this time was different. This wasn't just another night. Her usual reassurances, those vague, tired promises, didn't calm the storm in me like they once had. Something in my chest twisted tight, a warning I could no longer ignore. This wasn't paranoia. It was truth clawing its way to the surface. The hours that followed were torture. I tried distracting myself, mindless scrolling, flipping channels, pacing through rooms that felt too big and too empty. Midnight passed. Then 1 a.m. Then 2. I sent a message, "Are you okay?" No reply. My thoughts spiraled. I started replaying the last few months like a reel I couldn't pause. The late nights. The mysterious text she shielded. The perfume that wasn't hers. The laughter at jokes I was never part of. Sometimes she came home wearing cologne I didn't recognize, her hair a mess, her eyes far away. When I asked about it, she'd deflect. "You're imagining things. I need space. You're too much." But all I'd ever done was try to hold on to the woman who was already slipping away. By 3 a.m., something snapped inside me, but not in anger. It was something colder, sharper, clarity. I stood up, walked into our room, and opened her side of closet. One by one, I pulled out her things. Dresses, heels, scarves, jewelry. I folded them with care, laid them gently by the front door. It wasn't a tantrum. It was a decision. A quiet, absolute decision. After months of silencing my gut, I was finally listening. Around 4, I heard the door creak open. She stumbled in, laughing to herself, shoes in hand. Her makeup was smudged, her hair wild. She stopped cold when she saw her belongings stacked neatly near the exit. "Marcus? What's going on?" she asked, her voice still laced with drunken confusion. I looked her straight in the eyes and said with unsettling calm, "You're not staying here. Not tonight. Not ever again." She stood frozen, then rushed into a mess of excuses, half-hearted apologies, promises she couldn't keep. Her voice trembled. She cried. She begged. But I didn't raise my voice. I didn't accuse her. I simply repeated, "Call someone, get a ride. You're leaving." She pleaded with me like she still had power, but she didn't. Not anymore. And just after dawn broke, I changed every lock in the house. I hadn't slept a minute, but for the first time in a long while, I felt something I hadn't felt in ages. Relief. Later that day, I went to a lawyer and filed for divorce. He asked what I wanted in the settlement. My answer was simple. Give her what's fair. House, car, half the savings. It doesn't matter. Because truly it didn't. I didn't want the walls that had echoed with lies. I didn't care for the car that carried her to someone else. I didn't want any of it. I just wanted peace. In the beginning, the silence in that house felt unbearable. I'd catch myself listening for her voice, her footsteps, anything. But slowly, that silence became comforting. I started sleeping again. Really sleeping. I pulled my old guitar from storage, called friends I'd lost touch with. I walked with no destination, just to feel the wind against my face. I read books I'd long forgotten about. I cooked just for me. And slowly, Being alone stopped feeling like loneliness. It felt like healing. Months passed. One evening, I ran into someone we both knew. He casually mentioned seeing Claire at a bar, clinging to some guy, drunk and dramatic, asked if I wanted the story. I just smiled and shook my head. Not interested, I said and meant it. She no longer occupied space in my life or in my mind. And in that moment, I realized I was truly, finally free. Looking back, I only wish I'd listened to myself sooner. That voice inside, the one that knows before your heart is ready to believe. I wish I had the courage then to walk away before the damage ran so deep. Because that night, when I asked her to stay, I wasn't really talking to her. I was pleading with myself, begging for the pain to stop, for pretending to end. I was asking for freedom. So if you ever feel that undeniable weight in your chest, that twist in your gut that whispers something is wrong, don't ignore it. Don't wait until you're standing in the wreckage. Sometimes the bravest thing you'll ever do is listen. Sometimes walking away isn't weakness, it's survival. That night, the night I finally let go, turned out to be the first night of the life I should have chosen long ago.